Hi there and welcome back to our voiced roleplay playthrough of Torment Tides of Numenera. We're here on the market with our clever Nano, and last we did was talking to Jerem, a child from another dimension, another time. We don't know. Anyways, these are his parents, but not his real parents, as he's adopted from that other time. So let's talk to them to find out more about him. Paja. This couple stands together, their shared gaze fixed away from you. No words pass between them. Instead, they share a silent language of tenderness. Their bodies turn subtly towards each other, forming a private space between them. His hand reaches for hers, and without looking, she claims it. Still looking past you, they smile together. His is a curving line carved in oak, hers as unabashed and radiant as a lantern on a starless night. Scan thoughts, he's so beautiful, I do hope we're a good home for him. Turning, you see the object of their attention. A young boy, that is Jerem, darting between the stalls and playing in the dust. Each distant, exhilarated shout widens their respective smiles and tightens their grip on each other. Is that your son? Yes, Kellenor says firmly. He's still watching the boy, but a wary stillness has spilled into his posture. She swats his shoulder, and there's more punch than playfulness in it. Not yet, she says. We adopted Jerem, and we're waiting to see how he feels about that. Aren't we, Kellenor? Kellenor's eyes flicker stubbornly, but he does not respond. Scan thoughts, go away, go away. No, we're too interested in that. Why did you decide to adopt in such a strange fashion? Well, Kellenor and I, we've been together for how long? Years, Kellenor says, a glint in his eye. Scan thoughts, let's see how long this one lasts. Paja. And we knew we wanted children, so we tried and tried. We tried a lot. Some days I barely had time to put my clothes on before Kel took them off again. We're a scientifically interested, clever Nano. So, an explorer, scientist, interesting. Go on. Paja raises her eyebrows, but continues. Well, there was poor Kel, practically falling asleep on the shift, forgetting his trousers half the time, and me with nothing to show for it but a glow on my cheeks. Clearly we were working with a barren field. Faulty seeds, Kellenor adds, deadpan, does run in the family. But not that faulty, probably, as you exist, dear Kellenor, but okay. So we decided to find a child who needed a home rather than getting old trying to make one of our own. Paja says, that answer your question? Sorry, I'm gonna need more details, because it's such an unusual adoption, and we try to explore everything. Ha! Paja says, swatting at you. I like this one, Kel. She hardly blushed at all. She leans in and lowers her voice. We get asked this question a lot, and finally we found that being explicit about the process usually makes the questions just melt away. Tibia says, you've been talking to the wrong sort of people then, Tibia says, grinning over at you. We just love asking questions. Kellenor chuckles at this, but says nothing more. And what brings you here? Jerem likes it, Kellenor says. The stern expression around his stern eyes softens somewhat. We don't have much time between shifts, Paja explains, or money to spend on fripperies, so we bring him to the market when we can and watch him play. It's better than a night at the theatre. Kellenor raises their clasped hands. and kisses her bruised knuckles. He told me about the door he went through to get here. What is going on? Had to pry, didn't you? Eleanor growls. Calm down, Kel, Padre says, putting her hand on his chest. Stranger, can we convince you to leave this alone? Please, for the sake of our family. Scan thoughts. If Jerem finds out, I'm terrified to think what will happen. I just want to know what's going on here. I won't tell anyone. I just want to know for ourselves, because explorers, scientists want to know. She bites her lip and searches your eyes. Kelenor's hand slides over her shoulder to cup the back of her neck. Maybe you're true to the word, to your word, and maybe you're not. The more we argue, Padre hisses, the more likely Jerem will overhear. Her eyes shift to you, wary and despairing. Jerem got here through the House of Empty Time. He comes from sagas like us, only centuries in the past. That's why his speech is different, why he remembers places that aren't here anymore. She jabs your chest with a calloused finger. Keep this to yourself. We'll tell him ourselves when we find a way of letting a child know that everyone he knows and loves is long dead and dust. I think he knows already. Scan thoughts. I'll kick the skist out of her if she breaks my little boy's heart. We cannot promise it, because we want to tell him. We're like... I mean, we're good at deception, but we believe, usually, if it doesn't go for our goals, that people deserve to know the truth. Good people deserve to know the truth. So... I won't be the one to tell him. That's not something we'll say, but because we might, so I can't be part of this. He deserves to know the truth. Yes, he does, Padre says, but from us, not a passing stranger. Kelenor growls again, and Padre takes his arm. Keep this to yourself, she repeats, please. All right, but tell me more about the House of Empty Time. We don't know any more than we told you, she says, shrugging. Find the house's keeper and ask her. Her name was... She trails off, forehead creased in thought. Alcan Peri, Kelenor says, keeper of the House of Empty Time. You might find her in Government Square. Thank you, Kel. I couldn't hold on onto a name if it was buried in a bag of shins, Padre says cheerfully. Anyway, the very moment we decided to adopt, she was knocking on our door. We were nervous, but you can't argue with the results. She beams past you at Jerem. Thank you and farewell. She might know something about the past. Maybe she's a traveler from the past. Dried virulent meat. Yeah, we're going to find Alcan Peri right now, as I have already mentioned. And this is out of character a lot. Quests in Tides of Numenera can be heavily time-bound. So if you start a quest, it is, for me, I'd recommend to do it quickly. Do not let too many days pass.
Yes.
Because... yeah, it might cost you the quest. The quest might fail then.
Fine.
So we'll go to Government Square right now and try to find Alcan Peri, just in case this is something that needs to be done very quickly. I believe it is also, and correct me if you don't think so, more fun to watch. Government Square, eh?
With alert.
We're cheating a bit here, right? Alcon Peri. Hello there. Who are you? This woman seems to be absorbed by what she's doing. Her blue eyes narrowed in concentration. You realize that she's the nicest looking person you've seen in a while and feel almost compelled to approach her. She shakes out the golden cloth she's examining and holds it up to the light. Such beautiful colors, she murmurs. She meets your gaze. It would look lovely on you. Who are you? My name is Alcon Peri. You can call me Alcon if you like. She offers a tentative smile. I am a chirurgeon, but I mostly work with children. You know, healing scraped knees and the occasional broken bone. We're lucky here in Sagus that it's rarely anything more serious. Scan thought so many children need my help, too many. Oh, right. She's a helper person. She's one of the good souls. That's what we can see by scan thoughts, right? It is very, very helpful to detect the alignment of the persons. So, what are you doing? Waiting for an appointment, she says with a tentative smile. Let's ask this last, just if she stops talking to us. After we ask her that, can you tell me about this place? Of course, this is Government Square, home to the City Council and the Order of Truth. The rest is embassies and city records, but you might enjoy a stop at the Red Thicket. She points to a red stone enclosure nearby. Alright, now let's get to the point. I heard that you're the keeper of the House of Empty Time. Then you must have questions, she says. Ask away. How does it work? The House of Empty Time. A child enters the gate and emerges in another time to find a new family waiting for them. Willing parents register with a keeper in their own time period and, after rigorous questioning, have their names added to the gate itself. After that, she shrugs, who knows? The children have loving families, and those families have children to love. It seems to make a lot of sense. Why is it a secret, the House of Empty Time? Because it's not the strongest system in the world. No one knows how many trips the old thing can stand. So we use it only for those who really have nowhere else to go. Her face hardens, and if everyone knew about it, some of them would treat it the same way they do other orphanages. We'd find babies dumped in boxes, small children left crying with nothing but the clothes on their backs. She seems to come to a sudden realization of what she's saying, and two bright spots of color appear on her cheeks. She clears her throat uncomfortably. The people of Sagus have been very good to me, she says eventually. So she was one of the children. Probably, right? Why are you in charge? I mean, she'll say that, of course, probably. Let's ask her. Why are you in charge of the House of Empty Time? Because I walked through it. She smiles at your reaction. So yes, I was an orphan, and yes, I am from another time. One much earlier than the present. As a child, I had the unique pleasure of being able to read history books and imagine that my real parents were the heroes of ages past. Her smile dims. And before you ask, my parents in this time are dead, but we spent many happy years together, and I will always be thankful for the life they gave me. As for the gate itself, she looks at it fondly. When I am dead, or hopefully before, it will choose a new guardian from those who have passed through it, and I'll have someone to keep me company through the end of my days. Not a bad bargain, all told. We should do something good, maybe. Could I adopt a child? I'm afraid not, she says. One of the main requirements for adoption is a stable environment. If you ever decide to settle in Sagas, then we can talk. Alright, nice to know. And farewell. Thank you. Wow. So that's the House of Empty Time, your local adoption agency. That is crazy. Let's look at the fountain here again.
Now.
Of these jellies, or how they were called. This fountain is constructed of a material that seems halfway between wood and stone. It doesn't contain water, as might be expected. Instead, it's filled with swarming, tiny, fish-like creatures that leap and cavort in a wriggling mass, chattering to each other in what sounds like 1,000 different tongues. Natural law. Yeah, we've learned that. These are jellies, nearly harmless creatures that are usually found in clouds above the sea. What they're doing in this fountain is an utter mystery. Let's first examine the fountain. The fountain, now that you're looking at it, is unfathomably old. Coppery tongue-like decorations curl up and over the rim of the structure, as if lapping at the endless stream of creatures within. You take in the surrounding architecture before returning your gaze to the fountain. The structure easily predates the buildings in this plaza, and possibly the city. It might even be older than the Ninth World. Oh my god. Examine it again, maybe we'll see something more. You're once again struck by how old and perfectly preserved this fountain is. Listen to what the creatures are saying. You fold your arms, listening intently to the fish jabber at each other. It sounds like a cloud of nonsense syllables mashed into baby speak. We'll spend more time. Fish-like creatures continue to gibber a song of melodic syllables and broken words. Really? More? We don't understand. Then let's try to catch one of the creatures. Oh, it's pretty hard, isn't it? Wow, she has 60%. Tibia can catch one. Yeah, let's try that. Hey, Tibia. Success! You deftly snatch a single fish from the glistening, tumbling flood. The bubbling mass of remaining creatures squawk together in nonsensical outrage. Caught this creature from a fountain of sorts in Government Square. Small, fish-like, and constantly squirming, never requires food or other nourishment, and it gibbers constantly in an indecipherable language. A jelly. Yeah, one is enough. One is enough. Could that be? That could be our pet, right? But it doesn't like to be our pet, it seems, so. What to do next? Who is here? Let's play it as if we were really a guest to this city. So we're finding out more, like at the point where we are. So Alcanperi suggested we could go to the Red Thicket and visit it.
Yes.
So let's just do that, maybe. Who are you? Ayin, who knows? This woman's expression defies easy definition. It is cool and professional, but focused, interested. She nods at you and clasps her hands. I haven't seen you in here before, she says. Her voice is oddly muted. Before we begin, you should understand where we are. She gestures to one of the plant-like structures nearby. This is the Red Thicket. No one can listen on our conversation here. You can only hear me because I am speaking to you directly. You're trying to scan my thoughts. One of her eyebrows arches suddenly. You won't find anything in my mind, of course. If I could be undone by so simple a trick, I'd be out of business. She flicks the air near her shoulder, though nothing is there. It's a useful skill nonetheless. People's best secrets are rarely found on the surface, but their thoughts can guide you. If you listen, I expect you, and I will have much to talk about. Have you come to trade? Trade what? I am a knowledge broker, she says, a hunter of information. Come to me with questions, and if I have answers, I will trade them. She straightens further and blinks once, managing to make this simple action look as though it was planned in advance. My pricing is simple, a secret for a secret. The only condition is that it must be one I do not already know, and I should warn you that I know a great deal. What's the catch? Well spotted, she says, and there is one, of course, but it is hardly unexpected. Anything you choose to tell me will, of course, be traded to others in due time. A rare, slight smile graces her lips. In short, if you wish to keep something a secret, don't tell it to me. I can't read your thoughts, but can you read mine? No, she gives you a reassuring smile. If I could, I'd have no need to try it now, would I? Don't worry, I'm a broker, not a thief. Why don't you trade these secrets directly to the people involved? A number of reasons, she says, but chiefly this. I'm a broker, not a blackmailer. Yeah, a second-row blackmailer? I don't know. I'm not yet interested in exchanging secrets. It seems too dangerous to us. Even if we are curious to no end. There's Irathobryn here. Let's look at that. The structure is made of a strange material that seems halfway between wood and stone. Alien symbols are drawn in red upon the walls. This statue. A strange tattoo marks the side of the statue's head. It is vaguely similar to your own, but you have no idea who the statue depicts. Oh. This must be the changing god, right? And who's Irathobryn? This slim man looks to be in good shape, and though his face remains hidden within his hood, he carries himself with confidence. His clothing exudes something like smoke that makes him look a bit like a ghost, perhaps a man who can't be found if he doesn't want to be. Irathobryn, he states, pleasure. I'm a merc, head of the Eantin Spectre Company. What brings you to the Red Thicket? Tell me about this company, the Eantin Spectre Company. We do infiltration mostly, he says with a smoothness that implies he's given this speech before. Sabotage, assassinations, assorted hostile recoveries. Sometimes the city hires us to handle local threats, problematic tribes, roaming predators, you name it. He chuckles. Pretty quiet these days. Not like when we got started. Our first big job was a series of assaults in the Endless Battle. Scan thought, she looks familiar, that tattoo especially. Can't think why I'd know her, though. What's the Endless Battle? Really? He says, cocking an eyebrow. All right, it's basically like it sounds, a fight that's given people like me solid payday for more generations than anyone could count. He shrugs. As far as I heard, it's a scrap between rival factions of the Changing Gods cast-offs. What about I couldn't tell you? He cracks a grin. Getting interested in the why of war always ends up being bad for business. I can imagine that. What did you do there? Fight? Can't say, he says automatically. Contracts, you understand. All I can tell you is that the Chalcedon pays on time, and that's more that I can say for some of the employers I've had over the years. He sighs. One of the best jobs we've ever had. And who's the Chalcedon? One of the commanders on the Changing Gods side, he says. Pays well and on time, and that's the extent of my opinion on the matter. Now my turn for questions. It's not just the tattoo that gives you away. I know you, don't I? Where from? We fight together? Fight each other? What is it? His hand drops to a pocket near his hip. Tell the truth now. I'll know if you're lying. Scan thoughts. Her thoughts don't tell me anything. I'll have to try the direct approach. I'll try to remember how we know him. We're not very good at that, but we'll certainly try a lot. Hey, we made it. Very good. You focus on the man, his features, and open your mind. Can we trust them? You hear yourself say, your voice muted by the years. They're mercenaries, your companion replies. Of course we can't. That is not what I meant, you snap. Can we trust them to finish the work? If not, kill them now. This is no time for uncertainty. You return to the present just in time to hear Iratha speak again. Well, are you going to tell me how we know each other or not? I don't think we have to deceive him. But we'll ask first. Are you threatening me? Threatening, he snorts. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. A brawl in Government Square. Shakes his head. No, just curious. If we were enemies before, well, I'd like to know, but I'm not about to take it personally. Business is business, so tell me, how do we know each other? Can you read my thoughts? Barks a loud laugh. The only way you'd know that is if you could read mine too. Useful skill, isn't it? Now you know why you shouldn't try to lie to me. So, where do I know you from? He's a similar man, so maybe we can find out more if you tell him the truth. I was also in the endless battle. Say no more, he says, raising a hand. Should have known, with that tattoo and all. My curiosity does get the better of me. What's your company doing in Sagas? Negotiations, he says shortly. I'm between meetings with a few council representatives. They may want us for some ongoing work, he shows his teeth. Bit of a bidding war going on right now, to be honest. We're in demand. Scan thought so long as all sides are interested, the strongest will prevail, as it should be. So, we were successful in a way, like he's told us a lot that we didn't know before by opening up. And he seems trustworthy for now. Thank you and farewell, Iratha. Yes, see you. So that's what we could find out in the Red Thicket. Let's look at these globes and things. Crazy stuff. Always this face. Always this face. Well, I'd say for now, thank you for watching. We'll see each other next time. We'll explore further. Maybe we'll go to the Order of Truth. That is also in Government Square. Happy gaming. See you in the next episode of Torment, Tides of Numenera. Have a good time until then.